A traditional agency is hard to scale, and a lot of the agency owners I've spoken to say their biggest challenge is a constantly filled client pipeline. And I'm not talking about agencies that are just getting started. I'm talking about agencies that are doing more than 50K a month. One of the few agency downsides is low profit margins, but that isn't the real fundamental reason why an agency is so hard to scale. The most successful agencies of all scales are using this strategy to scale like a startup. We have Neil Patel's agency that's doing $100 million a year within their first 5 years. We have Gym Launch, which was Alex Hormozi's agency, that was doing $30 million a year within 3 years, as well as OmniFusion AI, that's doing $500K a year within their first 2 years. The following strategy I'm going to show you is going to allow your agency to go from linear to exponential growth, more like a startup. It'll increase your agency's profitability. It'll establish your company as the only brand that offers what you do, making you a one of one. But most drastically, it'll set up your unit economics to be appealing for buyers when you want to sell your agency in 5 to 10 years. So who am I? I'm George. I'm the CEO of Startino. And over 8 years ago, I started my entrepreneurial journey with Mom's Basement Ventures. Ant Channel, we had a ant farm manufacturing company, game development studio, you name it. I always steered away from the get-rich-quick business models just because I wouldn't be proud of it. I started a SaaS development agency in 2023, and I recently pivoted from working with startups and solopreneurs to partnering with agency owners to help them build and scale their tech products. From when I was 11, I was set on making an exceptional amount of money so that I could live the life I choose for myself and for my family. That goal is 7 million by the age of 30. And I say all of this because I don't have massive achievements to brag about just yet. What I share on this channel and in this video is simply my years of business and studies condensed, and to share things along my way to the goal. I hope I can use my addiction to business and SaaS to help you out. The strategy I'm unfolding here today is what I'm personally taking my SaaS consulting agency through, and this video wouldn't do its job if you don't take action. So I've made a few calculators that you can use alongside this video so that it really hits home and is actually practical for your specific agency. So let's get into it. Ask yourself this. In your agency, how long does it take for a project to become profitable? The average agency takes 2 months from day 0 to have enough profits to acquire the next, and 3 months to have enough profit to acquire the next 2. So what I want you to do right now is to pause the video and click the first link in the description. In that link contains all the calculators I'm going to be using in this video. And the first calculator is to show you how fast you reach profitability, but most importantly, when you reach the critical point, which I'll get into further. If you input your numbers into the calculator, you'll see that your growth is linear. Your unit economics looks like you're building runway and not trying to grow a business. So no wonder why a consistently filled client pipeline feels so hard to achieve. It's because you're not looking at client acquisition as an investment, but rather a cost. If each client you close gave you the cash you needed for the next 2 instantly, growth would feel inevitable. The one underlying tenet across this entire video is Alex Hormozi's customer finance acquisition, which basically states that your gross profit within 30 days should be twice as much as it costed to acquire the user and to fulfill the services. It seems so simple, yet it's surprisingly difficult for an agency due to the inherent business model, which is why the how is so important. If your agency was able to achieve customer finance acquisition, this is what your growth would look like. Your first customer is going to be able to afford the acquisition of your next 2 customers, and those next 2 for the next 4, and so on. And this is when you get exponential growth. And now in this section of the video, we're going to go through the actual how. And we're going to go through number 1, which is a quick win, and number 2, which is the secret sauce of how you can actually accomplish what I've claimed. So the first one, in the quick win, this is going to be a simple tweak to your offer to figure out how we can shift to more of this side of the spectrum. Within your agency, you can charge your customers one lump sum fee, or you can charge them an infinite number of spread out payments. And this is the 2 spectrums. We want to be as much on the left side as possible so that the profit can finance the acquisition of the next customers. So in this section, we're going to be going through 2 different tactics that you can use, and both of these you can play around with in the calculators. So the first one, you can provide a discount for prepaying retainers. You can, for example, give 10% off for a 3-month down payment. And this can be done with existing clients first to make it an easier transition. And I don't want you to market this because we don't want discount seekers. We only want to propose this after the close as an alternative payment method. The second option is to charge an initiation, setup, or onboarding fee. If your close rate is already low, this one might be a little bit tough, so I'd recommend keeping the total price the same. Also, when you're doing this, make sure you're bundling it with immediate value. So it could be an audit, strategy development, account setup, whatever it is. Just make sure that they don't feel like they're paying upfront for nothing. So once again, if you've inputted your data into the calculator, you should be able to play around with these numbers and see what works. And now we're getting into the part where it could really change your business. And it's not going to be an easy change. And the second way you can implement customer finance acquisition is by implementing a value ladder. And for this one, this isn't primarily to make you more money, although it will, but it's meant to speed up growth. A value ladder typically has 3 steps. You have do it yourself, you have done with you, and you have done for you. But in practicality, it's a lot more flexible than that. A value ladder is what the most successful agencies of all scales are using to scale like a startup. These are the same examples that I mentioned in the intro. All of these companies have used this tactic to figure out and unlock exponential growth. I'm going to be giving a clear-cut example of how this would work out in a business, but here are the 7 benefits that I can list out. Number 1 is you're going to have more revenue and better margins. Number 2 is you're going to have more value and impact in your industry. Number 3 is you're going to have shorter sales cycles and shorter net negative periods. Number 4 is improved brand authority, allowing you to charge more. Number 5 is all your high ticket leads that come from the other ladders are essentially free, already profitable. Number 6 is you're going to have a higher close rate because you're going to be able to downsell unqualified high ticket prospects into the other ladders. And as they progress, they'll come to you for their high ticket offer when they're ready. And lastly, your machine is going to be much more efficient. Every dollar that you put in is going to be more effective when it comes out. And so for you to be able to understand how all of these benefits are possible, I'm going to go through an example here. But in the calculators, I also provide inputs for you to input all your figures in there and figure out what will it actually take for me to be able to achieve a successful value ladder. So in this example, the first tier I'm using is a free offer. And in the second tier, I'm using a tech product. And in the third tier, I'm using whatever you're offering, which is a high ticket service. I just want to iterate that this example is very hypothetical. It's just based on industry averages. So it's going to be super arbitrary to your business. So that's why I said go to the calculator and input your actual numbers to figure out what it would look like for you. So in the free offer, this could be a lead magnet, a community, a course, a tool, content, whatever. And when you're offering something that's free or super, super cheap, it's a much smaller ask from a customer. So you're going to be able to get leads for a cheaper price. Maybe even free if you're doing something like content. If we assume a 20% opt-in rate, we're going to get our opt-ins at $25 per. This is where the beauty starts to happen. If 2% of those people that come from the free offer go to our tech product or just our next ladder, we'll see that we can actually get a cheaper customer acquisition cost because they came from the previous ladder. So instead of paying $1,500 per customer, we'd be paying $1,250. And this gives us a 7% profit increase already. Then again, if we take the same principle and use it for the people that are going from the tech product to our high ticket offer, just with a 2% conversion rate, we're actually getting paid for our customers that come into the high ticket funnel because they're already profitable in the tech product. And so overall, this would give us a 13% profit increase just for the high ticket offer alone. So now I'm going to explain what you want to consider when you're building out your ladder. And of course, it's not going to be 3 steps for everyone. You might want to start off with adding just one ladder and then adding another later down the road. So for the lead magnet, you want to ask, what can I offer that anyone can afford? And it should be free or really cheap. Ideally less than $50 in lifetime value. A lead magnet, this is very important, this is what people often miss. It should be a complete solution to a narrow problem that once solved, it reveals another problem solved by a core offer. So you want to map out your entire process that you provide with your services and offer the first step of that, the entire solution to that first step. And the idea with the lead magnet is that a person who pays with their time now is more likely to pay with their money later. Then when you get to the mid-ticket offer, this could be any sort of product. You want to be asking, what can I offer that builds serious trust and demonstrates clear transformation? And this is where the value equation would come really helpful into figuring out how much value you could provide with something. And then for the high ticket offer, this is just going to be what you're currently offering as your agency does. And 2 very important points to keep in mind when you're building out your value ladder is to make sure that there's a clear bridge between all the different steps. You want to make sure they're always aware of the next step that they should take. Because if they go from your lead magnet and they don't know where to go next, they'll never reach your next ladder and eventually the next ladder again. So you want to make sure it's always very clear. Secondly is it's not going to be clear cut. You can have 5 steps in your ladder, you could just have 2. You want to use the calculator that I provide to figure out what's most effective for you and what's most realistic. This is the value ladder that we plan on implementing in our business. So first off, we have free YouTube videos like this one, for example, where we're providing a lot of value through our YouTube videos and we get people coming in from organic and we're also doing LinkedIn outbound. From there, we ideally want people to pay around $400 for Value Tracker, which is one of our software tools. Value Tracker is going to help them identify how valuable automation could be in their business, as well as it should be able to get them start thinking about potential ways they can implement a tech product into their business, which is the step after that. So this is the ladder that we plan on implementing. Unfortunately, we don't have data yet. We're only a month into it. The theory is that the YouTube content is evergreen, which improves our conversion rate everywhere else in our funnel because anyone that we reach out to can consume our content and understand where we're coming from. If you're still with me, you're probably thinking this is a lot of work, and it is. But let's take a bird's eye view. You've been running your agency for 5 to 15 years, and despite all the results you provided for your clients, a constantly filled pipeline is still your biggest time spend and blocker, which means that everything you've tried in the past hasn't worked, at least to your standards. And this is speculative, But I think it's a safe guess to say that it's not the marketing tactic or the channel that doesn't work, but it's the unit economics of your business model that needs to be worked on. This isn't 2020 anymore, and in today's entirely digital world, you're competing with so many other agencies doing what you do at the level that you do. The only thing differentiating you is your brand and the slightly different KPIs in your case studies. So I want you to decide. Do you want to spend the next 2 to 4 weeks slightly tweaking your offer to unlock exponential growth through customer finance acquisition? Then you can also consider to add on the next 4 to 8 months where you can create your value ladder that'll also unlock your exponential growth, make your agency worth buying, so it'll make it worth millions more because buyers want to buy a growing business, and it'll also establish your company as the only brand that offers what you do, making it one of one. Or you can continue doing what you've been doing since the start and trying to find the secret sauce to your client pipeline. So that's going to be it. I hope this video was genuinely helpful. If you have any questions regarding how you can implement a value ladder, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Our mission at Startino right now is to find 5 agencies and work with them to build a tech product that adds $500K a year in revenue, as well as 2.5 million in their enterprise valuation.